Instagram has moved on from hashtags. Yes, I mean, we've known that, but our old friend Adam Mosseri, the head of Instagram, just got confronted in the middle of the street in a weird way, but he was basically asked about how hashtags work, and the way he reacted was fairly interesting to say the least.
Hashtags, do hashtags still work?
They don't. I'll tell you that. They don't work.
So yeah, he's pretty much over it. Instagram's over it. You've known that as well if you stop here every once in a while. I've literally had my suspicions for years about this. You can watch all the videos. You know, I've got proof. Some of them are still mostly hold up, especially the one with the SEO. Very minor thing though. But if you're still relying on hashtags, wasting your time thinking about the perfect ones, you're playing the game completely wrong. And Mosseri just confirmed what we've been seeing in our data for months, for years actually. Hashtags are dead. But here's what's really interesting. Obviously, Instagram didn't remove this thing behind hashtags. They actually replaced it with something way more powerful. And in the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly what that replacement is and how to use it to get you, let's say, 10 times more views than hashtags ever could. I'm not kidding. Now, we've been analyzing thousands of videos weekly, including all of their scripts, their hooks, basically for our clients in My Creator Mentorship, because, you know, we do a complete market research rundown for our clients. Basically reverse engineering the algorithm in a niche specific way. Let's not even get into this. But here's the thing. We've noticed a pattern. Reels that had more niche specific phrases and keywords in their scripts and caption continually perform higher. Very interesting. Let me explain. So essentially what hashtags used to do, which is helping the algorithm categorize your content, is now completely taken over by AI. You know, they've kind of let us know between the lines every once in a while. That's what they actually meant when they said, well, we're leaning heavily into AI and stuff like this. The first layer about this whole thing is they use obviously voice recognition, video recognition, and text recognition, meaning every picture, carousel, and reel gets basically analyzed completely from top to bottom. And they're literally listening to what you say, what else is in the screen somewhere around the way, and they use all of that information together to find you a matching audience, right? And this is where it gets really important, because instead of hashtags, you need to use this whole thing to feed the algorithm the right signals. Basically the way you used hashtags before, just in a little different way. Let me explain. So for example, if I'm talking about helping creators like you right now about building content strategies, and I have a guitar in my hand. Let's say I'm just sitting here. Even the same thing applies to the YouTube videos. I'm just sitting here, you know, with a guitar in my hand in the first frame. Obviously wouldn't make sense, first of all, for you, for the audience, but also, well, the algorithm sees, okay, there's a guitar, somebody's playing guitar. Well, let me show this, first of all, to more guitar people. Same thing with your script. The words on screen, you know, that you have, and other elements in your frame, in the, you know, everywhere basically, need to really be intentional about your target audience and about actually the content that you talk about, matching your content with your target audience. So the first thing I want you to keep in mind whenever creating content from now on is to really include relevant, specific, target audience matching keywords, phrases, and stuff like this throughout the script, because Instagram is using all of that information just like they were using the information they got from hashtags before, just a little smarter now. And I'm not saying, by the way, because I know this is going to come up now, that you should stuff keywords in randomly in your script and hide it. We used to talk about this at some point. Don't do this anymore. It's not going to help you, might even hurt you. But basically context matters, and actually acting like a real person matters. So you want to make sure to naturally include some of these phrases that people in your target audience actually use a lot, or actually search a lot, for example, in your content throughout your script, and basically just include them a little more than you usually would. You know, kind of hard to explain, but I think you get it. Actually, probably not, because it's complicated thinking about it right now. So let me quickly summarize the key points about this Instagram AI algorithm so far. First of all, it analyzes your voice, your visuals, and text. You know, takes a look at this. It matches specific elements it sees in those visuals, text, and voice things to audience interests. And most importantly, it's constantly learning from user behavior and how these people interact with your content. Keep these points in mind because they're actually very important for what I'm about to show you next. The pattern recognition strategy that's getting our clients basically 20, 50, 100K views per reel. Now, the words you say in these things are one thing, but coming from that AI whole thing, we can actually go a layer deeper to help the algorithm categorize your content and find the right target audience even faster. And basically it's the same principle, but it's an actual example of how you can help the algorithm a lot, actually. Because again, if we really listen between the lines of what Mosseri always talks about, Instagram's algorithm isn't just randomly pushing content, it's constantly trying to predict who's most likely to watch, engage, and share. And one of the biggest ways it actually does this is pattern recognition. So basically the AI behind the algorithm takes a look and learns and tries to predict that by associating specific topics, people, objects, and content formats with certain audience groups, which means you can intentionally feed the algorithm these signals to make sure it places your content in front of the right viewers. So one of the most powerful ways to do that is to show what we call power people in your industry in your content, right? Could be a famous or semi-famous expert, a celebrity, even a viral creator in your niche, but basically including recognizable figures in a visual way. That's the important thing, because of the pattern image recognition, helps Instagram really link your content to content your audience already watches with that similar topic. Same thing actually also applies with niche specific objects. Similar to what I talked about with the guitar. You really have to intentionally think about your whole set, your whole background to feed some of these micro triggers to the algorithm. So for example, even here on YouTube, because the algorithm is very similar, I have sometimes some Instagram related data and stuff like this, keywords in the background, because the algorithm is going to pick up on that. That's the one thing, but there's another thing that's actually way easier for you to do, because obviously you don't want to overblow it and make it kind of unreal in a way, like artificial in a way. But this is, for example, why review channels blow up quite easily, right? Reviewing, I don't know, the Apple AirPods, right? The AI is going to recognize AirPods and it's going to know, okay, this is a review about AirPods, so it's about tech review, so I'm going to match that. Main thing you want to take away from this, think about some objects that your target audience is familiar with as part of your content, whatever that might be. Same principle, by the way, is the whole reaction content space. For example, you can react to the same topic another creator in your industry reacted to or talked about, or even actually react to their content, ideally their viral content, because the algorithm already recognized, okay, this is this content exactly, these are the exact same frames that were pushed to this audience, it's the same audience as yours. This other creator obviously is in the same niche, in the same industry, so I'm going to show the content to the same people. Ideally, you take this and don't just blatantly react to somebody without actually adding something real significant to it, but doing that will again match a pre-validated audience with your content, really helping the algorithm basically the same way that hashtags used to do it a year, 2, 3 years ago. Now, so far we've talked about how Instagram's AI recognizes content, how to use pattern recognition to your advantage. But most creators stop here, and that's a huge mistake, because there's actually a third element that combines these two strategies together into what I call the data-driven content stack. Instagram is not just predicting who should see your content, right? And like what are the things you talk about. It's also learning how these people then react and interact with your content over time. And obviously, if you're a little smart about it, we can systematically train the algorithm to do that. Think about this. When somebody likes, saves, or basically watches your content multiple times, Instagram assumes they want more of it, obviously. So the algorithm actively recommends your next videos to them. And this is where most creators get it wrong. They post a video, hope it blows up. Sometimes it might blow up actually. And then they move on to the next random piece of content, hope it will blow up again. And this whole thing is really random kind of to the algorithm. Even though it's in the same niche and you might think you have a content strategy, still random a lot of the times. It's also, by the way, random to your recent viewers or commenters. So you need to basically create what I call a content chain instead of just one-off posts. And you need to be pretty reactive to this whole thing and basically creating content chains in your initial growth phase. So let's say you create a video and you see the video perform slightly better or a lot better than average. What you need to do is kind of go away from your initial proposed content strategy and basically create a follow-up or multiple follow-ups talking about that same topic with the same keywords, basically the major keywords, because the algorithm will then understand, okay, people before they watched that with these keywords, now this video also has similar keywords, similar things in the frame, basically what we just talked about right now. So they're gonna like it again, and these people will then come back and obviously like it as well because they already liked your previous one. And basically you can use all of that data and optimize this whole thing even more to get the algorithm to be on your side. So what do I mean with optimizing? Basically call to actions, basically getting people to behave in a certain way, to interact with you in a certain way. And a lot of the times people are like, yeah, I'm already doing that. I say, if you like my video, like and follow, like and subscribe, or whatever it is. Instead, take a look at your recent videos, for example. See, okay, a similar video got slightly more saves than average, for example. So you specifically tell people in your follow-up video to save it for later and give them a reason to, actually. Why? Don't just say save it for later, but actually explain to them, make them care. That way the algorithm understands, oh, these people save way more than average. These people are exactly the target audience. So boosting this whole thing. Or you can open another loop to say you're gonna drop a bombshell discovery that comes right from this thing, basically the same topic. You're gonna drop it tomorrow in your stories if you're really sneaky, which means people have to follow you because they don't want to miss out to seeing your story. You know, like these small things, they actually matter quite a lot. They really boost the algorithm's understanding of your content, your audience, and finding the right audience for your content. And basically, if you want to understand what type of content that is for your specific audience, in my creator mentorship, we actually track exactly what type of content gets repeat views, more saves and shares, stuff like this. And we structure content sequences in a way that specifically trains the AI to keep recommending your content over and over again to the right kinds of people. With that being said, let's quickly recap the basically 3 major shifts you need to make in your content strategy right now. Number 1, stop relying on hashtags and start optimizing for AI recognition. Number 2, use pattern recognition to your advantage. Think about that to match pre-validated audiences with your content. And number 3, implement this whole content stack to train the algorithm and make things go way faster. There's one more thing though, and it's actually crucial. Remember how I mentioned there's still one way to use hashtags effectively? This video right there actually shows you how to use hashtags still with this one way effectively as an SEO tool to get even more out of all of this. Bye.